We're live. Hello, wrestling fans, and welcome to We Can't Wrestle Live. Nate, Aaron. There's a shout out for Aaron. Nate, Kyle, and Chris here with you, gentlemen. How's it going out there tonight?
It's going.
My brain hurts.
Can we go ahead and give a
I
shout
don't know
out?
if we could drink enough alcohol and not suffer alcohol poisoning to rewatch that and find it enjoyable.
It was rough.
Before we get going, let's give a quick rest in peace to Mark Merrow's favorite entertainer, Little Richard.
Aww.
Tyler Dubb is here. What's up, Tyler?
Honestly, I'm surprised they didn't give a nod to Little Richard at all today, considering, he did make a Mania appearance.
Yeah. Well, maybe they revisionist history, like we were talking about before we came on the air.
Roman who?
Little who?
Wait,
that wasn't Little Richard. It was Johnny B. Bad.
Wait, you mean Brock Lesnar wasn't in the ring by himself at WrestleMania when Seth Rollins cashed in that briefcase? Just hanging out?
Yeah, just hanging out, waiting for the cash in.
His match was already over. That's when Seth ran down.
Juan Rosario is here with us. What's up, Juan? How we doing out there tonight? We're going to be talking Money in the Bank, the pay-per-view that we all just went through.
My boy.
Speaking of revisionist history, I'm glad we had a dead person show up on in Titan Towers. That was nice. Because Matt Board's looking great for being dead as long as he's been.
Kind of a long chin.
I'm glad he showed up with a fucking nice dress shirt. Like what?
Well, okay. First, did you guys watch the Taker documentary?
No, I have not seen it yet.
Okay, I thought it was really good. It's your standard WWE stuff where everything Vince McMahon says is his word, and it is what it is. But for seeing that side of Undertaker and everything, it's well worth a watch.
Now,
it kind of pissed me off though.
Reason being,
because like watching it, the way he's talking, he knew he was doing shit that he shouldn't be doing, but he was still doing it anyway. And as much as he has destroyed his body and everything at the end of it, when he asked Vince if you're happy, and he's like, I'm happy. That's all that matters. No, it isn't all that fucking matters. You still being alive and being able to walk is what matters. Senile old bastard makes happy is money.
Taker has been drinking the Kool-Aid for a long time.
Give him a 20 and call it a day. He'll be happy.
My wonder is, are they letting this all be there now? Because are they planning? I mean, would it be apropos for him to retire at Survivor Series this year, 30 years, and then go into the Hall of Fame next year?
I honestly thought it would be better. I've always thought he should be one that didn't have his last match at Mania. His last match should have been at Survivor Series.
Mm-hmm.
I think
on the principle.
With tonight, with the way everything played out, with that little shout out to Undertaker and everything, I think we're leading to AJ Styles versus Taker, and AJ is going to be the one to retire him.
And that's a possibility, but I think if they're going to do it, no matter how they do it or who he has his last match with, it should be at Survivor Series.
That's what I'm saying, is that because Taker, since he's old school, he's going to want to go out, as they say, on his back, looking at the lights.
And who else is there to take his career anyway? I mean,
Baron
who else
Corbin.
is there?
Nobody, because they haven't given him the shot. They've given nobody else the shot.
Yeah. Kyle tried to sneak Baron Corbin in there, so yeah, that's.
Come on,
he needs it. I like Corbin.
I hate that fucking guy. He has the charisma. He has the charisma of a Steve Blackman and the wrestling prowess of a Broccoli.
Although I will say, when he broke that,
but if you actually listen to him, when he broke that mirror, his face was like, oh,
like, that was fucking funny. He's like, uh-oh.
And the thing is, you guys understand on why they had this match, right?
This
you realize why it was?
Match?
Yeah, you know why it was in the headquarters, don't you?
Well, they're going to be moving.
They're relocated already to fucking Florida, so they didn't give a shit about this building.
No.
Weren't
There's a
they?
lot
But
to
weren't they
unpack.
getting a new corporate office in Stamford?
No, they moved to Florida.
Oh, see, I thought they bought a building in Stamford.
Well, yeah,
Another
they're going to
building
move
in
to Florida
Stanford.
because
I
it
think
doesn't
they
matter
have.
what happens in
I
Florida.
think they.
Apparently, they're going to let
Yeah,
them go.
I think they have a building in Stanford, but they're moving headquarters to Florida, right there with the PC and everything else. Which I found kind of ironic because that came out right before the donation and right before they became essential. And I'm just like, there's a coincidence, and then there's a we paid for this, right, bitch?
Yep.
All right, so let's head
Then
into
the
this.
McMahon family crosses the Florida state line, and the Florida government hears Shane McMahon's entrance music in their head.
Money. Oh no, wait, that was the. I'm sorry. Yeah, kind of, sort of. I was thinking of the Trump one.
Yeah,
The Trump
no,
one.
well, and what it was the theme for Money in the Bank for a lot of years. Now it's some
They
new
used
rap.
They used it today.
Did they? I thought
Yeah.
they had like a new version that was like
Revisionist history. They use whatever the hell they want when they feel like it.
yeah, true.
Kind of like I love the fact that they recondition and rebrand people, but they really don't. Because like a couple weeks back when Bobby Lashley came out to the wrong music at first, you know what that told everybody? You took away his first name, but you still got his audio file listed as Buddy Murphy. Because Bobby's right above Buddy and you clicked the wrong link.
Juan says Otis is going to cash in for the tag titles. For his character, that would be appropriate, actually. Yeah. But anyway.
Or what if he cashes in? Well, I don't know. Maybe what happens if he cashes in somehow? They do something wonky with him cashing in and giving his shot to Mandy.
I thought about that too.
Either he's going to cash in on Mandy or Dolph's going to win some belt and he's going to cash in on whatever belt Dolph has. He will not use it for the if he actually uses it and succeeds, it's going to he's going to play the I'm too stupid and use it for a mid-card belt.
Yeah.
Just like I love the fat shaming, the gender specific fat shaming. Because Otis stepped his ass on that ladder and the rung broke. Nia Jackson, all of her Clifford the Big Red Dog glory was just like whooping up that motherfucker and all of her fucking Betsy the Moo Cow ass.
We've gone to the end of the show before we even get to the beginning of the show.
You know whose end of the show is? Alberto Del Rio. Jesus.
Oh God.
That he's done.
Alberto Del Rio, you know what happened? Paige read that and was like, you think?
He should have been done a long time ago. So the fact that they were even considering bringing him back, I was like, no.
I'll say Paige looked healthy and pretty decent before she got with Alberto. Now it's like,
Did you ever check out Fighting with My Family, Kyle? We talked.
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Shame on you.
I didn't think it was that great.
See, I'm
a horrible wrestling fan.
I thought it was a good movie, and
it's on Amazon Prime.
I thought generally it was a good comedy movie. Like my wife actually enjoyed it, and she's not a huge wrestling fan, but
well, see, that's the thing. They made that film for movie fans, not wrestling fans. And the thing is, that's one of those films you can't really do it for normal fans and not wrestling fans because it's so current of a topic.
Right.
That's one of those things you can't do revisionist history on because it's too current. It's not going to be like, you know what I mean, though? You're chuckling, but it's not like.
Well, they did it with Roman tonight.
Well, no, if your son watched it, it's not a topic like, say, Golden Era WWF.
Right.
Where if he watched this movie about
Hulk Hogan,
Sheik, we'll go Iron Sheik. If your son watched an Iron Sheik biopic like this, he wouldn't pick up on it. But even your son's young enough to go watch Fighting with My Family and go, wait a minute. That's not how that happened.
That
Dad!
is not how that happened. I call bullshit.
And you'll be sitting there going, that's my boy.
All right, so we started with the tag title 4-way. Let me tell you, the only thing that I took from this match that was a positive is that during this match, the Lucha Underground, the Lucha House Party were the workhorses in this match.
And sadly, I'm honestly getting to the point I'm over the New Day.
Oh yeah. I wanted them to split when Kofi was champion. I wanted Big E to go heel on Kofi when he was champion. And
The only thing
for Xavier to kind of become Big E's like mouthpiece, that's what I wanted to happen then.
Like, honestly, the only thing that's got me still pulling for New Day, to be quite honest, is their ring gear. Because I'm looking at their ring gear as like a subliminal countdown.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know about their ring gear, right?
No, not really. I read something
it's
somewhere.
It's an Xavier Get Well type. Remember the original Xavier Get Well card gear?
Mm-hmm.
They redid it in all white with like paint by numbers on it. And like the color key is actually on their butt. The color dots that you see is actually the color key for the paint by number. And I remember when they came out and it was all white.
Mm-hmm.
And if you notice, more and more of it's getting colored in. Like, to me, I'm hoping that's a subliminal countdown. Like when it finally is all colored in and there's no more white, that's when that Xavier comes back. And like that's honestly the only reason I'm still interested in New Day. I'm like, is it colored in? Is it colored in? Nope, they're still white. Damn it.
But yeah, I agree with you though. I think they've jumped the shark, and that's not a knock on any of the guys. I just think it's time for that team to end.
Well,
I don't think they've jumped the shark per se. It's just they've ran their course.
It's Vince McMahon sitting there going, "Well, it takes 3 black superstars to equal 1 white superstar, pal."
Pal.
The thing is, and I don't want to, I'm going to get hate on this in the comments, so pay attention because it's probably going to happen. To me, the New Day has almost become the WWF equivalent of the NWO. It's ran too long.
Yes. Oh,
because they don't have any other ideas.
Remember how like the NWO at its time, it was like awesome, and then before they made like 3/4 of the roster NWO.
Mm-hmm.
But remember when it just got to the point you're just like, oh my god, it's NWO again. That's how it's getting with the New Day to me. They've ran their course, and they either need to heel turn the whole group. I don't really know if I want to see them split because they do so well off each other, and they have the charisma to actually do solo careers and still be associated with each other as a group. Right. So I don't really think a breakup needs to happen, but either like some heel turn or just a reinvention or something.
Well, like I said, I think that you leave, and I see what you're saying, but I think you leave 2 of them together, namely Woods and Big E, and turn them heel, because I think Big E is a monster heel.
I don't think Kofi. Xavier could pull off heel.
Well, I do. I think
he's way too much fun of a charismatic, and he's got way too much of like a social media presence outside of WWE.
Hold on. Firstly, and I understand what you're saying, but I think he could pull off an annoying.
It would be a boo him because it's cool. It wouldn't be a boo him because he's an asshole though.
Right.
It wouldn't be a legit heel.
That social media thing pisses me off anyway. Because I don't.
I'm not talking about their podcast stuff. I'm talking about his up, down, down that he had. He had that when he was Consequences.
Right.
So, I mean, you can't really be hating on like the YouTube gaming stuff because that's longer than the Xavier character. That's what I'm referring to.
What I hate on is when they have a Twitter.
He's not really a Twitter guy. Big E's the biggest Twitterer out of all of them.
Twitter. So what did you guys think of the match? I think it went. It was very. Was that your opinion, Kyle? Or
yeah, look, I'm going to be honest with you. Especially with AEW, there's just something they do right about having no crowds. But good God, WWE, It's so ridiculous how they're doing stuff. There was only one backstage interview tonight that really, I was like, man, they did that right.
Drew?
Everything else, huh?
Drew?
No, not even Drew's, because Drew's was more like the same thing. It's like, ladies and gentlemen, my guest this time, Drew McIntyre.
Pause.
And then they pause for the audience,
Pause. And
it's the same thing with the tag match. They're
the thing is, I can almost see why they're doing that pause, because honestly, I think they've gotten in their head that people aren't watching it as as they were. So now when they say, ladies and gentlemen, Drew, the few people in the house that are actually watching it, when they say Drew, they're like, Ma! Drew's coming!
But see, that's the problem.
Bring the meatloaf!
Get the TV dinner trays. But no, that's the problem, though. The reason why people think that is because that's what they're conditioned to do.
I thought, and it's funny because you brought that up just now, and the next thing was Drew's interview anyway. So I actually have a note here about the fact that they did the pause, and about the fact that up until now, he's been one of the people that has handled having no audience the best.
Mm-hmm.
Because when he comes out, he doesn't look to the cameramen. He comes out straight forward to the ring, looks into the camera, and talks to us. He's done a really good job of that. And as a matter of fact, he's done a really good job of being the first guy to become the big guy on top with no fucking audience. I think I say kudos to McIntyre.
No,
I
do too.
He's kept me interested this whole time, which I knew he would because I'm a mark for him anyway. But yeah, this was awkward. But I also see what Chris is saying. What's that?
And also about the tag match, I'm conflicted because I really enjoy the Forgotten Sons. I don't know why they've been called up because they didn't do jack shit with them in NXT.
No.
And I don't understand why Jackson/Gunner isn't fucking wrestling, because I was a big fan of his in TNA. That's honestly the main reason I'm a fan of Forgotten Sons. Because when I seen him come out, I was like, oh, it's Gunner. And he's just like, you look at him and you're even I'm pretty sure your wife will watch it and see him and be like, why is he not wrestling? He is in the best shape out of the trio.
Yes.
He looks chiseled and he's just there going, raw, 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 raw.
The other problem I had with the Forgotten Sons being in this match, not in this, I guess I do have a problem with being in this match, and it has nothing to do with them. If I am a person, because there are probably 60% of WWE fans that are not like us. They don't watch NXT.
No one's like us because no one has that kind of psychiatric bill.
What I'm saying is there are people out there who only watch Raw and SmackDown. That's what they watch. They don't watch any other incendiary programs. They don't watch the stuff on the network. They don't watch AEW. There are people that are just, and they brought these guys onto SmackDown. And if I am looking at it as a person that only watches main roster stuff, I have no fucking idea who these guys are, what their story is. I know nothing about them. They've done
and nothing. I don't understand why they're heels.
Exactly. I mean, they're just thrown on the show.
Like, well, what gets you say that, but you're the guy that says Lacey should be a heel.
Yes.
She's got the military. Like, if they would properly use the military background with her, I am totally for her being a face. Like, she's even got like the retro old school pinup girl look going, which would be an amazing thing to capitalize on for a fucking face push.
I guess.
Why are the Forgotten Sons, who are literally like a walking, they give me the vibe of a POW MIA, like activist group personified into a wrestling gimmick. How are they bad guys? Like, the only thing that could make them more patriotic is if they came out to like the Marines theme song, or the theme music that the Marines use.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or glory, glory, hallelujah.
Yeah, something like that. Like, they are literally a personification of everything that should be not a heel. Like, can you imagine this faction, like, immediately post 9/11? Oh my God. They would make Hogan look like a goddamn curtain jerker.
They make Hogan look like Corporal Kirchner.
But am I wrong?
No.
They
They're
are the
miscast.
they're the personification of true patriotism and American militant pride, and they're assholes for it. And I'm like, why? Why?
But
And Kyle's just sitting there going, Chris is on one tonight.
yep, Chris is fired up.
I'll let Nate. Oh, go ahead, Kyle.
So you brought her up, but the one interview I enjoyed was Lacey Evans' interview tonight, because it reminded me of those old school vignettes where she's talking and she's putting on the makeup and everything. Like it wasn't your typical. Like I said, it reminded me of the old school vignettes. And whether
But the
she
thing
should
is,
be
that
face
makeup
or heel,
thing, yeah, but that makeup thing to me gave more of a heel vibe.
it did. But what I'm saying is, I want to see more of that, especially now. Like we don't need to see these interviewers.
Hold on. It's like this. Kyle introduces me. Hold on. Go ahead and introduce me, Kyle.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, my guest this time, Nate Maxon.
Wait, pause.
Hi,
Okay.
Kyle. But I see what you're saying too, and
like I like the fact like when they would go back like Razor Ramon, they'd be like, let's get thoughts on from Razor Ramon, and he would be in his gear, and he would be in a place that looks like Razor Ramon would be at
Miami. Vince
instead
McMahon
of
never saw Scarface. Did you know that?
That doesn't surprise me.
So here's the story. I know I'm getting off base. Vince never saw Scarface, so he thought Scott Hall says Vince thought Scott Hall just came up with all of that. Like he thought Scott Hall was a fucking genius because he came up with this. He came up with that character.
Yeah.
It's so funny. So R-Truth is always entertaining, and R-Truth is what wrestling comedy should be.
Mm-hmm.
R-Truth is the only way you can get away with like pandering to a crowd that's not there, and it's okay.
Yes, because he's oblivious, and it's funny.
Like even singing, he's like, "What's up? What's up?"
What is it? I mean, you look at it.
Most wrestling comedy is stupid. His wrestling, and it's because he's a pro. I mean, he is.
I'm not gonna lie. Part of me kind of would love to see like an R-Truth Colt Cabana mashup feud. Tell me that would not just be amusing.
That would be
whether
fun.
whether you like Colt or not. Colt can go in the ring, and so can Truth, and they both know how to play on like the idiocies of wrestling without going completely overboard. Like I could just see Truth doing like the little Jimmy thing, and Colt would completely play into it and be like shaking Jimmy's hand and shit.
Yes, and that's where like Jericho and R-Truth are both in the same mold. Where it's like with Jericho coming out and being like, "I'm not going to let the fans in here because you don't deserve to see us." It's little things like that with him. Where like they can play with it and they know how to adapt.
They're savvy. And like I said, Truth can take. What am I trying? He makes ridiculous legitimate.
Yeah.
I mean, he just believe that's that guy.
He knows how to make it not utterly ridiculous.
Exactly.
Like Mick Foley was. Like Mick Foley was the king of making you believe that he was the most humble, sweetest guy in the world. Even though he wore a mask and
Mm-hmm.
looked like he hadn't shaved or bathed.
Yeah.
And like, can you imagine an R-Truth Dude Love segment?
You know what my favorite Dude Love moment was? When he got the teeth.
All of them?
Yeah. And then Austin rips it out and steps on it and breaks them.
The thing is, like, the guy that good. I am with the whole Tiger King and Joe Exotic, Carol Baskin shit, can you imagine, like, today's day and age if Dude Love the way he would tie in some kind of Carol Baskin cats and kittens shit, like, oh, cats and kittens, have mercy. And the thing is, wrestling fans would be like, this is awesome.
That's funny.
I loved the other than his obviously just his promo in general, but I loved the accidental slap, but not accidental slap on Lashley. That was fantastic.
Even the post match, I beat him. He lost a lot of weight though.
You know what gets me with our
The
truth.
bad thing about that post match, go ahead,
is he sells with his eyes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he can. Again, it's that old school wrestling thing. He is playing to the people in the nosebleed section.
Exactly. Yep. He wrestles like a guy that wears a mask.
Yes.
And he's never worn a mask, so I don't know where he picked that up from. Because I honestly don't know. And he trained in Memphis, didn't he? Didn't he train?
Well, that doesn't surprise me because think about it.
Did you not watch his network special yet?
No.
Think about who else came from up and around Memphis.
I'm getting a screenshot of that.
that could sell great with wearing a mask. Kane.
Yeah.
Kane was
Who learned it from his fucking dog.
Yeah. I mean, hey.
You heard that right in the broken call thing? He was like, I was sitting there and my dog, when he got interested, would just be like, and I was like, that could work.
And by God, did it.
Well, after this fun
and
part
the thing
of the show,
is, even now you see all the new mask wrestlers doing that shit.
Mm-hmm. After that fun part
even Braun did it tonight.
After that fun part of the show that I liked, we roll into Baron Corbin. And this is one of the reasons why. This is one of the reasons why I always start a pay-per-view 10 minutes late.
And you might get mad at Baron, but the other nice thing is he does have really good looking merch.
Oh, you mean like his I had a delay. I saw your lips moving, and then it was like your lips weren't moving, and it was like merch.
You know he said delay, but he's just sitting there going, no, he fucking doesn't.
Well, no, some of his insignias or stuff are cool looking.
And I will be honest, I honestly think one of the best entrance musics are wasted on Baron Corbin.
There's a lot of things wasted on Baron Corbin, like a paycheck.
The thing is, you hate on him so bad. Have you actually heard any interviews he does outside of the ring?
No.
He is actually very smart. Like, he uses social media and everything to completely capitalize on his heel gimmick. Like how everyone was mocking him and bitching about how he wore the vest and everything when he was... He read that and he was like, oh, you hate that? That's my ring gear now. He wasn't even going to do it. It was like a one-off thing. And then when social media exploded, that they said he was an idiot and F this and F that and he sucks and everything else. And he looks retarded. Applebee's wants their manager back. He was like, damn, I stumbled on something. Say hello to your new ring gear. Like, you hate him so much, but if you actually listen to interviews and stuff,
he wants me to hate him. I know.
Yes, he's doing it perfectly. Like,
but he doesn't have heel heat with me. He really, honest to God, has go away heat. I find him. He did with me.
He did with me until I watched these interviews, and I was like, "You cagey bastard! You played me. I'm mad. I got played. I'm even more. God, you're even more of a heel now."
I think they should give him his cape. Let him keep his cape. Say, we paid you off in pelts. Go away. That's what they should do.
We paid you off in pelts and faux animal teeth. Yeah, go away.
Take your pelts, take your horns, and go. Bayley and Tamina is one of the consequences and the casualties of them having skeleton rosters right now, I think.
What makes me mad with Tamina is another one. I know I keep going back to it, but social media, if you follow her at all, she's been doing her own out-of-pocket, like, little segment stuffs on social media they're genius. They're amazing. Like, she's been going to a therapist for her anger management and everything else. She's been putting this up on her own social media out of her own pocket.
Is her stuff is her social media WWE official?
I'm not sure. I'll have to double check, but because I watch a lot of wrestling related YouTube channels,
Right.
and one of the guys, they were like, I can't stand her, but I am all aboard the Tamina train now. And like, he's been showing clips and vignettes of it. If WWE would have just shown like a fraction of the stuff that she's done on her own, you'd be
Well-
legitimately as pissed as I am tonight that she didn't win.
But let's hope they don't, because then they just ruin it like they did Zack Ryder's shit.
Yep.
So a couple of notes about this, and I'll let you guys give your thoughts. The match wasn't terrible. Everybody knows I am a fan of Sasha Banks. However, I am not a fan of Sasha Banks when there's no audience, because her voice annoys the shit out of me. Outside the ring, when she's in the ring, like I didn't notice it when there was an audience. I didn't notice it when the audio was different.
Music annoys the shit out of me.
But I still like her, but I want her to not be on TV anymore until there's crowds back in the arena, because it's hurting it's cramping my style here. It's cramping my style.
It's
Kyle,
affecting my fandom, and I don't appreciate it.
Kyle, what'd you think of the match? And
Here's my problem, because we're going I believe, if I'm correct, next is Braun versus Bray, right?
Yes.
Okay. So here's my problem with these two matches, is that they're complete opposites of each other. On the one hand, you have this storyline that's been building between Bayley and Sasha for all this time, and they're just not pulling the trigger on it. We all know that Sasha's going to turn her back on Bayley.
Right.
Sasha should be the heel. Bayley should be the face. That's what's going to happen. It's what we're coming to. Okay.
I don't think they will this time.
Unfortunately, then we go into this Bray Braun match, and they just fucking rush it. And I'll get to that here in a minute. But like I said, that's the thing, is that we all know, but we all know where this is going. It feels like every other woman is a afterthought who goes after Bayley's title right now.
Right.
Because we all know what's coming. Hell, even back in 1999, when we knew
Kyle.
it was going to be Rock and Stone Cold.
Kyle.
Yeah.
Kyle. Sorry, folks.
No, you're not.
keep talking, guys. My boss is calling.
Oh, okay.
And by boss, I mean my wife. I'll be right back.
All right.
You already say which boss.
But
well, the thing is, that's one of my things, though. Like, honestly, I think, personally, I don't think they're going to do that, because they've already done the trope of heel Sasha, face Bayley.
Yeah.
I think they're going to try to flip it this time for that feud, because it's been done.
And they may. But see, that's the point. But the problem
Tamina
is,
should have won tonight, because that would have helped pull the trigger.
it would have. But see, the problem is again, like I said, they're playing out everything until it's like they're putting everything on hold until they're ready to pull the trigger on that. But, you go back to 1999 when we knew that it was going to be Stone Cold and The Rock at WrestleMania, but you still had Mankind in the middle of it. And he didn't feel like an afterthought. Now it's like, okay, we know where we're going. It's just a matter of getting there, and it's like, okay, well.
But you also have to, the way you're comparing it, Mick is a completely different league.
And I understand that. But the problem is that there's plenty of women on that roster that could be in that league.
What's worrying me right now is with the whole Dark Side of the Ring going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
Is Tamina behind? Welcome back.
Thank you.
You're just in time for me with this weird, like, borderline conspiracy question.
Ooh.
What I was asking him, with the Dark Side of the Ring being so hot that it is right now, and the topics that we've had on this season, is Tamina behind a subconscious, unknown 8-ball because of her lineage?
I would say,
Maybe.
yeah.
Because, I mean, think about it. If she would have won tonight, would the smarks on the internet been like, oh, Imagine that. They're giving her the belt just like they covered the shit with her dad.
Well, and okay, two things.
I know
Firstly,
that's really dark and a
no,
messed up
it's
avenue to
it's
take,
it's not dark.
but with all this shit coming to light recently, and her
I actually
now all of a sudden getting a push,
on my paper here it says Bailey versus El Hija de Murderer. El Hija de Murderer. So, but so I'm dark too, is what I'm saying. But okay, so,
but you get
but
what I'm saying though. I
yes,
don't know
but
if
and I have also
is she
heard
behind an 8 ball.
I have yes, but I have also heard that Vince promised Jimmy that he would take care of Tamina, and that's why she's still around.
The thing
And
is, they say that,
but
but
I see what you're
everyone
saying.
shits on Tamina
No,
and
I'm
all
not
this.
shitting on Tamina.
No, I mean
I'll
in
shit on her
general.
father. Her father was a son of a bitch, but
Yeah,
it's
but
not her fault.
what I'm saying is, in general, the wrestling community shits on Tamina.
Hmm.
Personally, to me, aside from her debut with the Usos, she was never really given a fair shake.
No, and she's
She
better than Nia Jax.
she busts her ass whenever she's in front of that camera.
Hmm.
If she steps through those ropes, she gives it her all, whether there's nobody or 15,000 people in that building. To me, she is the female equivalent of the most underutilized, unappreciated talent they have because of her genetic lineage. It's not her fault what her dad did.
No.
Hmm. No, and it's to the same
And
thing
like
of
and like I said, if she would have got the belt tonight, how many smart marks would have been like, "Oh, how convenient."
hmm. Well, and it's an unfortunate thing because think about David Benoit. David Benoit could be a fantastic wrestler, but we will never
David is
see that on
David
the.
is screwed because he is a clone visually of his father.
Hmm.
That kid will never be able to wrestle anywhere with the most. Adam Smith could not be his ring name, and you not look at him and go, "That dude looks like Chris
Well, and then
Benoit."
to the extreme, he was testing the waters about wrestling as Chris Benoit Jr. And I was just like, whoa, whoa, whoa! You need to put a mask on.
The thing is, I give him credit for that though, because I mean, to me, in my opinion, that tells me that this kid is so dedicated and so committed to this profession that he is willing to put himself behind an 8 ball the size of Australia, Texas, Saturn combined to prove that he's willing to do what it takes.
Oh, Texern is huge.
But you know what I'm saying though?
Oh yeah, yeah.
He's willing to start from that deficit to prove it. Name
And
one other second, third generation person that's ever been willing to do that.
or well, especially considering the circumstances. I mean,
Yeah. You've got people like San Martino who were handed shit left and right. Watts. Oh, my daddy's bill. Here you go.
I don't know if you guys remember, or you probably don't remember.
That face.
But
God, Eric Watts, Jesus.
There's
you know what I mean? He was given everything and shit the bed. This kid's willing to take on his murderous, suicidal father's moniker and move forward with it.
Mm-hmm.
Eric Watts is just like,
there's a clash.
My daddy had special spur, make me champion.
There's a clash of the champions. Excuse me, Ma. There's a clash of the champions where Eric Watts comes out, and the name thing. What do they call the name thing as they're coming out?
Title card.
Yes. It says it's Eric Watts coming out, but they accidentally put up the name card for Steven Regal, and I was like, that is blasphemy! How fucking dare you?
God.
Steven Regal has had diarrhea with more knowledge than Eric Watts.
Yes. So Seth Rollins dresses like a California heroin addict now. I wrote that down. His promo was bad. I don't like this gimmick anymore. I liked it when it first started. I liked the potential of it.
I
And Kyle and I
loved.
discussed it. It
I
started
even
out with
loved the
potential.
WrestleMania gear, like the whole like Pope-esque gear that he wore at WrestleMania. I was like, yes, embrace that shit, make it work.
Mm-hmm. What did you think of Seth's promo there, Kyle? Because I thought it was boring.
Where's the Vince McMahon that went into the Catholic Church and took the blessing water and spit it? Like, come on.
The most amazing.
I honestly think the Rollins thing is losing steam because all he's got right now is Murphy because of the AOP injury.
Right. But come
He
on.
doesn't have the following nuance that he had because his following is a party of one.
Yeah.
Vince McMahon wrestled
it's like
God on a pay-per-view.
And it's not like V1 with Shannon Moore.
Don't sit here and tell me that they're Vince is afraid or not afraid to push the envelope. You know, it's ridiculous that they're not allowing Seth to push the envelope of this character.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
by the way, Kyle, that's nice ceiling, buddy. Are you hiding your sleeves?
Where's
the sleeves? Sleeves. We're cheating. Hey, baby, how you doing? How you doing?
All right, I'm gonna leave again.
Ladies
and gentlemen, Nate Maxson.
I almost put a white like a sleeveless shirt underneath to come on here and be like, blah.
You should just make sure for like our next episode, you wear like a white wife beat underneath and write like, remember how I broke his neck? Right, Archie, this is for you, and then like rip off a t-shirt.
I'm gonna write Archie 316.
No, because then he'll get bigger of a head than he already has. Just write Archie, this is for you. Then you'll get like love letters and locks of hair. He's bald, so I don't know where the hair is coming from.
It'll just be
don't ask, don't tell.
Be a little
thing. It's gonna say Archie 316. I just made this shit.
So you said that I gotta say,
fuck all you.
getting off topic again. But you mentioned the Vince McMahon the church thing. Is or is not one of the funniest moments in WWE history when
Shane's
Vince
stepping
says,
away.
Yes, when Vince says, "May God strike me down," and then and Shane's like 3, 4, 5. It takes like 6 steps away. That's fucking great.
But it's also when he gets down and prays, and he's like, "God, I don't like you, and you don't like me.
You don't like me."
And everybody else in the McMahon family is like, Jesus.
Yeah. Bray and Braun. Even though, okay, see, I can't hate this. I can't hate it. I'm sorry. I can't hate it.
Are we starting the old Bray loop?
Can I make my case?
Yes.
Okay. Here's my problem. In this match, you had basically the story was that Bray put the mask on Braun, and Braun was like, "Oh, I'm going to follow you again," and everything else. And then he turns around, takes off, and right now you don't have any crowd. You can do anything. Why did you not build this up over the next couple weeks to the next pay-per-view?
To get a pop.
Exactly. Here's the thing. Like, why not sit there and have it be that Bray drags Braun along?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because in order to do that, Bray had to win.
Well, and like I said, it's
honestly,
like
I get what you're saying. Honestly, going off your idea, what would have been amazing is if he put it on, did this whole shtick like they did, and to build it up, they both left the ring together, double count out.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Or better yet, how many times have we seen
matches
everyone's
just
like, end?
What the hell?
We've seen matches just end. Why couldn't Bray or Braun just fall to his knees, embrace Bray, and then boom, cut the black?
Thank you. You reminded me. Sorry, not to cut you off, but I'm going to rewind real quick to the very first match. No DQ four-way tag match. Even as the commentators were no disqualification, how did Jackson Riker get ejected from ringside?
Because the rules don't matter, pal.
Can we have referees learn the goddamn rule book before they go out to the goddamn ring, whether there's people in the crowd or not? Okay, back up where we are.
It's a hell of a match going on in the ring, ref. Might want to try watching it.
Well, it's not that. It's just he ejected Jackson Riker right when the commentary was like, "There's no DQ, so everything's okay. You're out of here." Wait, what? That's not how this works. What's next? A rope break on a street fight? Oh wait, no, you're just gonna call a match on ref stoppage during a Hell in a Cell.
Well, I'm saying you could have. Why not? It would have been better.
That struck a nerve.
It would have been. Imagine this, okay? Let's play a little fancy booking. Imagine if Bray Wyatt let Braun keep the title, and he sits there and says, "This title's better in his hands than in his mind because who can beat this man?"
They can't.
So
They've already built it up too much. They built it up too much. I got to take that burden off of you. So that wasn't an option. Remember, the whole premise of his promo last week was that burden is preventing you from coming home. So I mean, I like your idea and I like where you're going with it, but the way they did that whole promo last week, they can't. They already shot that in the foot. That's why I'm saying the only way it could have worked is to go off of your idea is if they went like arm in arm over shoulder and everything, and they just walked out of the ring together like they were talking, double count out. That's honestly, I think, the only way they could have done this, where even Cole and
Graves.
Thank you. we're like, what the hell just happened? This could be bad. Suspense cliffhanger, and then pick it up. That's the only way they could have done it, because the way you just suggested, they shot that in the ass with the last promo.
Yep.
So here's my take.
It's the classic WWE shoot themselves in the foot and book themselves in the corner in the process.
My take is, and it sounds like I'm in the minority. I didn't dislike this, and the first thing I want to say.
I didn't dislike it either. It's just I'm scared.
The first thing I say is, Bray Wyatt is like the Undertaker in that Bray Wyatt is the thing in wrestling, especially WWE, that makes me a hypocrite. Because I do come on this show every single week and say, fucking guy with his hands in his pockets, fucking stupid. I mean, I come out here all the time and I dog things that that I think are ridiculous, okay? I for some reason, just like I always have with The Undertaker, and I know it's a hypocritical, it's probably because I love it so much, I let Bray Wyatt's character slide. Because
they know how to do it.
I let the fact that those puppets were in the arena, I let it slide. I just go along for the ride.
No, you're not hypocritical because they know how to make it work.
Mm-hmm.
They take ridiculousness and non-believability and bend it just enough to where it folds over that crease of believability. Well, whereas Orange Cassidy is like, his whole moveset is the equivalent of a finger poke of doom. And they sell it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, he shits on the believability of it. Taker, Bray, guys like this, guys that understand the storytelling aspect, they still tinge and play with the believability.
Right.
Cassidy shits on it like a cat with diarrhea.
We're going to start calling him Orange Cassidy now. That's his official name on the show.
You're welcome.
Yeah, hashtag booty beef, hashtag Orange Cassidy. I actually look at this story, I guess, differently in that Bray, I don't know, to me the underlying thing is Bray was trying to threaten Braun with the Fiend, but Braun wasn't scared of the Fiend. So now Braun gets the Fiend. Was what
I guess the other thing that bothers me with this whole thing, though, is the fact that every wrestling fan knows that the only reason this whole storyline is happening is because Joe Anoa'i, he said, fuck you, my health is more important.
Mm-hmm. And this is better than what we would have got with Roman. Let's be fair.
But you know what I'm saying, though, is that's the only reason we're getting this. So, like me as a wrestling fan, I love how they're tapping into the history. I love all that. But in the back of my mind, I'm still thinking Vince McMahon wouldn't have gave two shits and wouldn't have gave this to us if Joe wouldn't have said, my health and my family are more of a priority than you.
Right. See, and that's what scares me the most about this and what worries me why. Because it's like, we need to rush this storyline because we got to wait until, because once Joe comes back, by God, it's, it's like, again,
Maybe not.
Well,
not.
right. But
the thing is, like, I've already, like, if you've been following the group, I posted how WWE is currently at a state of they're to the point where if you want to leave. What will grant your release? If you want to leave. You're going to do that, and then you're going to shit all over the guy that has done his best to carry your company, whether he was hated or not, and that he didn't even exist at WrestleMania. What is Vince going to do if Joe actually sits there and thinks and sits with his wife and kids and watches over like that Money in the Bank countdown thing and was like, you don't give a shit about me, apparently, obviously. Fuck you, I'm out. Where are we at then?
Tony Khan, how much money you got, buddy?
The thing is, Roman Reigns, whether you love him or hate him, dude is money.
Well, that and
he's gonna bring in viewership no matter where he goes. Ring of Honor, MLW, NWA, AEW. That'll be the one dude. They're all like, my checkbook. It's already written out. Joe, how much you want to put in the little square?
It's like getting your hands on Cena 10 years ago.
So what's going to happen? What are we in store for if that happens? And then you think about all that, and then you, again, back to what I said earlier, you realize the only reason we're getting this feud, we're getting this angle, is because Joe said, my health is more important than your fantasy.
Right. Yeah.
That's why we're, as much as I love it, and I love Bray, I love the work that he puts in, I love the work that Braun puts in, I can't take this as a true feud because it was a shit, we got to do something. This wasn't their first choice. This was the bench warmer idea.
Yeah.
That's what bothers me.
This is the leftovers. I don't have a lot on Drew and Seth other than I thought it was a good, straightforward match, and I'm glad the right guy went over.
Again, Kyle, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to shell over your idea. It's just
no, you're fine. Like I said, that's what is this, but not a chance for us to talk and.
But you get where I'm coming from.
No, yeah, absolutely, and that's
like
the problem,
if this would have been booked before, if Roman was still around full time, and they went with this angle to stew Roman some more and get him more build up, I'd be more invested. But the fact that I know that Braun was literally thrown in there, the fact that Braun was thrown in and won this belt without even a reason why Roman was no longer in the match. It was just like, oh, hey, it's Goldberg versus Braun now. Here you go. Thanks.
And imagine the story that could have been told.
Right?
Imagine the babyface story that could have been told of. I mean, they've acknowledged on TV that he had leukemia. So why didn't you just tell that story? Why didn't you just say Roman's not going to be there because his health is more important than the WWE champion or the Universal Championship?
Because Vince McMahon believes that Roman
is weakness.
Exactly, that Roman should have not let the leukemia control him. Shouldn't let it beat him.
Well, the thing is, look at it this way, though, too. They've been trying so hard for us to love Roman. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
One video interview with Roman. One video with Roman, and pray to God, Joe says okay with his family being like involved in the camera somehow.
If not, you
Him
could just
set-
do like they did with Luger and have it be a fake family. Whatever.
Yeah.
No, hear me out though. Like Joe says, okay, for this one time only. He's sitting at home, talks personally to the crowd, tells them he loves them all. He's done everything he could for them, but they know his history, they know his health, and they know the pandemic going on,
Mm-hmm.
and giving everything at risk, and the fact that he's got twins on the way. He loves them with everything, but he loves his family, and that's who he lives on through. That is why he can't be there. You have got fucking legit Superman walking through that curtain when everything's over.
Well, and at the end of the
That's all it
promo,
took. One segment.
At the end of the promo, he says, "And when this is over, I'll be back. Right now, I'm going to go be with my family. When this is over, I'll be back and I'll be with you." And there you go. You got Hulk Hogan. I mean, you got Hulk Hogan.
Exactly. Think about it. Look how well it worked for Drew.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it. That 24 thing with Drew, how he was like, I wish it was with all of us, but we will have our moment together when we can.
Right.
People are going apeshit over Drew right now. That's all it took.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine if they did it with Roman. This has been a half-decade build with Vince going, please like this Samoan. It would have taken 4 minutes of your televised time for a webcam interview.
Exactly.
And you would have had God. Roman could have literally walked on water after that. And,
For sure.
And Vince just shit the bed. Yeah, fuck him. He doesn't care about us, pal. Sneeze again, COVID, our weakness.
Speaking of insanity, let's talk about this Money in the Bank thing.
Here we go.
Not.
Jesus.
We have 4 minutes.
We have 4 minutes. This was insane. Absolutely insane. Let me say this. I want to say this straight up before we start. There were a couple of times that even though I think it's ridiculous, even though I thought it was goofy as fuck, I did laugh.
Brother
Example.
Love?
Yes. And it wasn't necessarily Brother Love. It was Rey Mysterio.
Face?
Yes. It was Rey Mysterio going,
love you too, but I gotta go.
Yeah. That was funny. I mean, there was a lot of funny
And the fact
shit
they made sure they showed Bruce washing his hands during this whole issue.
And how long was Asuka on the elevator? That was funny.
The thing that bugged me right out of the gate, Asuka's already a floor up. She's already got the upper hand. Let me jump back down to the ground floor. No, you dumb bitch. Get in the elevator now.
You know what the greatest part about this whole thing was?
Tucky or Otis?
There was no fucking commentators.
Yeah, that was.
How would you commentate that anyway?
We didn't have to deal with Michael Cole's silly ass fake laughing over.
The only way I would have. Oh, I'm not trying to cut you off.
No, you're fine.
The only way I would have integrated the commentators is at some point, like maybe like 2 points during it, flash to their table and them going.
You needed Titus O'Neil.
Yeah. So let's hit the great points here, and then we'll hit the bad points. Good points. Fucking hilarious that they go into Vince's office. And this is sitting there, and then fucking AJ and Daniel Bryan's like, "We'll get the chairs." And Vince using the hand sanitizer. Like,
you know what? You want to hear what the what the funniest thing about that was in my little world during that segment? Was my wife looking up in the TV and going, "Fuck, he's old."
Yeah,
he looks bad.
Yes, it does.
Honestly, my opinion to make that segment better is if Vince would be like, "Hold on a minute," and was like, had AJ and Daniel both hold up a hand and go with the sanitizer. Was like, "Now out."
How about the fact
that the thing is, that is some bullshit spit in honesty and all things real that Vince McMahon would have done. I'm surprised they didn't.
How about the fact that when the men finally met the women at the table before the food fight, Otis is, "What's up, ladies?"
Yeah.
Otis is gold.
He is.
Otis is gold. And like I said, I'm scared that that's going to take a shit dive because the woman responsible for that whole storyline was fired. The woman who started or did the whole sales pitch, wrote it, everything, is one of the women that they fired on Black Wednesday. That's what scares the shit out of me. I'm like,
why would you fire her when she's the one person that's been able to give you something that actually got over?
But did you know that woman, that the one female, yeah, that's who wrote. She was the one who wrote this whole thing. I've been scared to death. Either one of two things are going to happen. One, Vince is going to shit all over it, or two, Vince is going to milk it until it fucking produces powdered milk and nobody cares and hates Otis.
Right. Yeah, and that's probably one of those two things will happen. But let's enjoy it while it's going on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because baby, Otis is the money in
And they
bank.
changed the rules because, as much as Nate hates to admit it, in theory, Otis didn't win. It has never been who controls the briefcase. It is who removes the briefcase.
Yeah.
Baron won. That's your feud. Hate to break it to you, it's going to be Otis versus Baron for God knows how long right now.
Well, shit.
Am I wrong?
No.
15 years of Money in the Bank, it has never been who controls it on the apron. It's who removes it.
On the other side of that, if we're looking at Survivor Series being in November, we have some time to fill between then and now. Okay, so they've already talked about disbanding the draft and the rosters between Raw and SmackDown, which means, I don't know about you guys, but man, I liked me some AJ Styles and Otis. There's something about those two together, man. So if we get that, I will be.
I don't know. Ray coming into the weight room and Otis going, "Oh, pretty colors."
Leaving the stream. I'll be right back.
Yep.
Leaving the stream.
Oh,
pretty
man.
colors. Oh yeah. So, and apparently, are we just going to excuse the fact that Aleister Black is going to return as his WWE 2K20 gimmick of the zombie Aleister now?
Yeah.
And I'll wait till Nate comes back with this one because this next part bugged me the shit. Oh my god, it annoyed me.
I think I know.
And out of curiosity, where did the other three females go?
I don't know. Maybe they got thrown off the fucking building like.
No, that was only two.
But that, to me, that was the giant stuff from WCW. And then they added in a sound effect of
the Elias hitting the ground from the birdcage sound.
Yeah. Oh my god.
And the fact that AJ was the one talking mad shit about throwing people off, and AJ didn't even do it.
Yeah.
I'm glad Chris joined us in the stream tonight because Kyle there's so much shit going on in my house. I don't know what the fuck's going on. But anyway.
And okay, now I got a question. I'm going to bring this up to you. I don't know if anyone else noticed. The roof of Titan Towers. Why did I see cars driving it out of a gas station from the roof of Titan Towers?
Well, no, I've always heard Titan Towers is like located in just this residential, like it's like this residential area, and then there's Titan Towers right there. And
well, no, given the view, if you paid attention to the background while they were in the ring on the ladder, and you could see through the trees. Given that idea, they were on a 2-story building. Like, no, seriously,
I see what you're saying now. Yeah.
You can see taillights and everything going in a gas station or whatever right in between the trees, and I'm like, why does that look ground level to where you're at?
Also, the throwing off the top of the building thing, I don't think that was the intention, because if you look at the overview, when they showed the overview, there was actually like a pedestal up on top. So yeah. I don't think we were supposed to.
I mentioned it to Kyle while you were gone. So does that mean Aleister Black is coming back as his WWE 2K20 DLC character?
The zombie thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rey
But
Mysterio
now-
comes back as a walker with his face like the face that's shown
Yeah.
gone under the mask is like going to be all like Walker-esque.
I enjoyed the fact that we saw Paul Heyman sitting at the table.
I
With
loved the
rice all over his face.
Yeah, I loved the fact that he was picking through the food like there's no vegetables. There's no vegetables for me.
Aleister
also-
Black even looked scared that he got hit in the face with food. I'm like, why would Aleister give two shits about the fat Jew guy?
Another thing that I loved about the Otis character in this was he is intense.
He got mad
What? And he
for a
was
sandwich.
he was intense. Okay. Looking at Nia Jax, but even intense, he is smashing his sandwich. Like there's nothing even my intensity's not getting between me and my food. Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, what have we been told for the last 3, 4, 5 weeks about Money in the Bank? Where was the briefcase?
All right, I don't.
top.
I guess I'm not following.
Oh, I know what
No.
you're talking about.
The whole promotion of this pay-per-view and climbing the corporate ladder. Where was the Money in the Bank
It's gonna be at the
briefcase
top.
located? Why the hell did Dana Brooke look at night? Tell me where the briefcase is.
Okay.
Bitch, do you not watch the product?
Wasn't
And
she
then-
fired anyway?
Are you Brock Lesnar level not watching the shit because you're in the back reading your Hunt and Stream magazine backwards?
And why in the hell, when she grabs it and Stephanie's like, that's the boardroom, the meeting room. It's like, why do you have a fake Money in the Bank briefcase hanging up in the meeting room?
You know what?
Motivation, pal.
You know what? Kyle.
Uh-huh.
Kyle. Vince McMahon. I can believe it.
Probably. I wonder if they have a little Hell in the Cell when it's...
Yeah.
Well, why not? They had a cage around the little setting area.
Have you guys seen the meme that has the milk crate over the ring and it said it's
Yes.
not Hell in a Cell anymore, it's Hate in the Crate?
Hey, can we talk about the fact that Vince McMahon has the fossil of a T-Rex?
He's
In
had
his
that forever,
office?
though. That you can see that in Beyond the Mat
I understand, but why?
because he can, because he ate all his competition.
Pal.
He's like, fuck you, the king of dinosaurs. I'm the king.
And I got big arms.
And I am now a dinosaur. Have you seen me?
I liked the appearance by Johnny Ace.
Mm-hmm.
Why was he on? Why was he on a mobility scooter? Is there something the Bellas are not telling us about their father-in-law?
Because that's
Didn't
what he
he
was
c-
doing.
Didn't he use that when he was
Yeah.
Power to the People?
I don't know. That was during the period that I quit watching.
I think like John Cena
You know,
or CM
So like
Punk heard it.
literally when Cena returned at Royal Rumble from his surprise return,
Mhm.
I was at my cousin's house watching it, and when his music hit, I literally got up off my cousin's couch and was like, "Fuck you! I am done watching because there's who's winning." And I left his house. I did not watch WWE for a year and a half.
The funny thing is that's the same time that Aaron, like during the Power of the People thing, that's the same time Aaron like checked out. Because on one of the pods a few months ago or whatever, I brought up the I always used to think
overtime.
I know. I always used to think it was funny because Tensai's music, remember Lord Tensai as played by Albert, his music at the beginning of it sounded like it said, "Who's the guy? Is that the guy? That's the guy." And I brought that up to Aaron and he was like,
You
"What
paid
the fuck?"
attention to his music?
Yeah. Aaron was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And I was like, "Don't you remember? I used to say," he's like, "Who's that guy? What's that guy? Who's that guy? It's Tensai." But anyway,
And
this
speaking of Lord Tensai, reminded me of Albert, reminded me of Draws, reminded me of Dark Side of the Ring. My brain works weird.
Thank you for taking us on your stream of consciousness.
Yes.
Well, Dark Side of the Ring, Sieg Dared for the brawl for it all.
That's the only one I haven't seen.
You should watch it. Like they've actually interviewed Darren. And as a wrestling fan, I don't know if it's just me. Kyle, did you see that episode?
Yeah.
am I speaking solely, but as a wrestling fan, you see Darren like that and it kills you? It like almost makes you weep because whether Darren was like top grade or not, the dude gave it his all in the short time he had, and he was screwed by the worst of flukes ever.
Mhm.
Yep.
But during this interview segment that he has during the Brawl for It All segment, this is going to sound so cheesy. I am a 40-year-old man. I wish that I had the positive outlook on any shade of life that Darren Drozdoff has. The dude is confined in a motorized wheelchair for the rest of his life by a fluke, and he is still the most optimistic, positive man I have ever seen in
That is
any
the
wrestling interview concept.
you know, you want me to tell you something, Chris? That is exactly not exactly, not about an interview or whatever, but that is what what last year it was either last year or the year before. I got to actually chit chat with D'Lo Brown at a show, and that came up. You know, it was just like came up,
It always
and
will for him.
he actually said to me, to my face, he said, Draws, regardless of what happened, is still a great friend, and he's one of the most positive guys I've ever met in my life.
Watch the brawl for it all. Dark Side of the Ring. No matter how much you cared about Draws as a wrestler when he was active, you can ask Kyle because, like I said, maybe it's just me. I have got like the most admiration, respect, any type of adjective you could think of for that man after that.
Mm-hmm.
Because a dude that was he even 30 yet?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
To see him now and know how he is for the rest of his life because of this, and still completely cool, laughing it up, playing it up, being positive as he can, you're just like, a motherfucker cuts me off in traffic and I'm shitty for 3 days.
That's what I was gonna say. It makes you feel like a piece of shit.
This dude is never gonna walk again for the rest of his life. And he's cool with it and he's happy and he's positive. A motherfucker takes my parking spot, I would create genocide for a week and a half.
Right?
It's very eye opening and very awe inspiring. Like, he has become the one person of WWE that I would love to meet in person just because, like, how Mark Marrow's doing, like, the motivational speaking, everything. Mad props to Mark Marrow, but fuck him. It should be Darren on that goddamn stage. No, you laugh, but tell me I'm wrong. It should be Darren on that goddamn stage. If there's any form of motivational speaking, it's Darren goddamn Drozdoff. That man is a saint among men. Watch that Dark Side of the Ring episode and tell me I'm wrong.
I will check it out. Yeah, that's the only one I haven't seen because
it's Dark Side. It's Brawl for It All. Who gives a shit at this point?
It's not that. That's not it for me. It's because I don't have. We only stream in my house. I don't have cable.
I'll send you the link. I'll send you a link.
Yeah, I was gonna say I just use Netflix, Network, Hulu, everything. We don't have actual cable, so I don't have Vice. So there's
a few people on YouTube that stream the Dark Side of the Ring episodes, top notch, 4K, like 8 hours after the episode airs.
I've been able to find everyone but. So if you can send me a link, that would be good.
Yeah, definitely. I'll get you after this episode.
Okay, cool. Well, I want to thank you guys for joining me. I want to really quick before we go off, let the wrestling fans know We Can't Wrestle podcast episode 97 will be up probably tomorrow. I actually kind of took the weekend off, hung out with my grandma and my mom, so I have not edited it together yet. But on that show,
that reminds me. Tell Mama Max and I said Happy Mother's Day, and I hope she had an awesome day.
Will do. She got to hang out with me, so she was doing good.
Same with Mama Army.
I will.
And Mama would as well.
Yes.
She enjoyed. I actually made her like homemade dinner. She was all shocked because I was like, "You're never buying steak sauce again. I'll just make you that shit stretch."
I swear I saw her in my store a couple of days ago.
I'll ask her.
I was over in furniture, caught up with dipshits that want to buy furniture during Corona, so I don't.
Because your employer is hell-bent, I'm going, hey, come shop during a virus. I sent you that message, dude. Like, still,
Yes.
I'm getting emails from your employer every day, or if not every other day, going, come buy stuff. Patio furniture is not essential, I'm sure.
However, one of the greatest jokes ever told is in the movie Patch Adams when Robin Williams go, "Hello, I am Chief Patio Furniture." But anyway, I want to. Anyway, yes, the show is going to feature that. Back to the point. The show, and we've all been drinking, haven't we? The show is going to feature.
I'm doing shots and beer. I told you I need to like recuperate from watching that pay-per-view.
The show is going to feature
not a sponsor, but Screwball Whiskey. If you're a fan of peanut butter, amazing.
I don't know if peanut butter whiskey is a good thing for me.
I didn't think so either, but it is amazing, and it is the smoothest, most delicious shit I have tasted. Like, it doesn't have the whiskey burn, and then after you shoot it, that's why I've been doing shots of during the show, but after you shoot it, you get like the very, very slight whiskey warmth, and then peanut butter is like, here I am, my friend, and you're like, oh.
It's like the apple pie moonshine. Stuff's evil.
Worse.
Ugh.
Because apple pie moonshine's in a jar, so you know you're going to get in trouble. But when you pour the shit in a shot glass, you're like, that's fine.
I need to make a batch.
Oh, it's peanut butter.
That's what we should do for episode 100. Just make a bunch of apple pie, get shit-faced, and record.
I need to make a batch.
Episode 100, if we are not quarantined, we need to do that shit on a live broadcast, all of us in one location.
There is a lot of stuff going on for episode 100. So,
you notice he didn't say yes or no to that.
Chris, I'm going to ask you a question when we go off the air, because we're going to go off the air. But episode 97, back to episode 97. Not only will it be the 3.5 or 2.5 hour, almost 3 hour segment we did with the Asylum Wrestling podcast the other day, doing a watch along of WrestleMania 9, but also Aaron and I earlier in the week got to do a second interview with Chad Austin. Second, but here's the fun part about that one. Half hour into the interview, my computer crashed. It crashed, so we never got to finish it. So there's about
it crashed?
It crashed. I didn't even know Windows 10 could do that, but I got a blue screen. Luckily, I got everything up and running, was able to recover the audio. So the
worried if it's a green screen.
The interview is intact, and it will be on this episode. So that'll be up sometime either tomorrow or Tuesday. I want to wish all the moms in the We Can't Wrestle group, or anybody, any mom that brought someone to the We Can't Wrestle group.
Unless they're assholes.
Day.
Like, I'm pretty sure that Nate is not going to wish Mama Corbin any kinds of Happy Mother's Day at all.
I'm sure his mom's a perfectly fine woman, and we cannot hold her accountable for one mistake.
But I'm pretty sure Nate will say she either should have taken it in the butt that night or swallowed. Just saying.
I actually envision. I actually envision that Baron Corbin was conceived much in the way of Freddy Krueger, like his mom was raped by a bunch of shitty wrestlers, and that was how he came to be.
But the one woman
we do
not.
Sued for that?
But the one woman we do not wish a happy birthday to is Casey Anthony.
Oh.
Yeah. Fuck you.
Okay, so at the end of
burn
this,
in hell.
So at the
all
end
right,
of this,
and on that note,
yeah,
we're gonna banish Kyle and
who's the worst
peanut
human?
butter for you.
Who's the worst human
Suck
being
on your
here?
douche flute, you asshole. And
I didn't do it. I'm not the one that did it. I didn't leave the latch open. I'm not the one that
he apparently didn't either.
It's
kind of like OJ.
In the car. I didn't do it. I
Signing
didn't buy
off.
the duct tape. Don't be mad at me.
Thank you for joining us on We Can't Wrestle Live.